For the last decade, there has been one golden rule in Canadian real estate. They told you it was a law of physics. Rents only go up. Well, that rule just broke. The average rent in Canada has crashed to $2,060. That is the lowest number we've seen in over 2.5 years. And if you're watching this from Toronto or Vancouver, the drop is even sharper and it's accelerating. So you might ask, why now? Why, after years of record breaking increases, are we suddenly seeing red? It's not a glitch and it's not just one thing. We're witnessing sort of a perfect storm. It's a policy driven demand shock colliding head on with a massive wave of accidental supply. If you own rental property or if you are thinking about buying, you need to understand this dynamic because the market isn't just cooling, it's fundamentally changing. Let's start with the supply because this is where the story gets interesting. Usually, when we talk about rental supply, we're talking about big apartment buildings, purpose-built rentals, cranes in the sky. But that's not what's happening here. That is not where these listings are coming from. This supply is coming from failed sellers. I want you to look at the chart for active rental listings in the GTA. It's a vertical line, record highs. Here is the reality on the ground. The resale market is essentially frozen. Investors tried to sell in the fall. They listed their units, they staged them, they waited and waited and waited, and they got no offers. They couldn't get their price, but they still have to pay those variable rate mortgages. So what do? They are forced to pivot. They take that unit off the sales market and they dump it into the rental market. We call these accidental landlords. And you have to understand their psychology. This is not a corporation balancing a 50-year spreadsheet. This is a regular person who is bleeding cash every single month. They are highly motivated. Actually, let's be honest, they're desperate. Every day that unit sits empty is money coming out of their own pocket to pay the bank. That desperation, it's driving asking rents down much faster than the broader market data suggests. They are undercutting each other just to stop the bleeding. But really and truly, here's the catch. And this is crucial for you to understand. The supply is only temporary. These landlords don't really want to be landlords. And as soon as resale prices stabilize, as soon as interest rates drop enough, those for rent signs are going to turn back into for sale signs. So the flood of inventory, it's a window in time. Now, let's talk about the other side, demand. This is the part that the media glosses over. They talk about housing shortages, they talk about supply crisis, but they're missing sort of the massive U-turn that's happening right in front of us right now. In the third quarter of 2025, Canada saw a record population decline. We lost 76,000 people in 3 months. Let me repeat that. The population didn't just grow slower, it shrunk. Who left? Well, it wasn't the PRs. It wasn't the home buyers. It was a massive exodus of non-permanent residents, international students, and temporary foreign workers. People who either stopped renewing visas or simply packed their bags and left. Now, why does this really matter for your rent? Because this specific group, the non-permanent residents, they are 99% renters. They aren't buying detached homes in the suburbs. They're renting condos in the city. So do the math with me. When you remove 176,000 renters from your demand pool in a single quarter, what happens? Vacancy skyrocket. We saw vacancy rates jump 0.8% this year. That is the fastest increase on record. This is a policy-induced crash in rental demand. But I need to make a distinction here because this is where people get confused. We have a rental recession happening at the exact same time as a stabilizing resale market. How is this possible? Because they are two different pools of people. Permanent resident growth, the home buyers, is still positive. People are still buying homes to live in. But the renter pool, it is shrinking and it is shrinking fast. So what do you want to do with this information? How do you play this fake out? If you're a tenant, listen to me. This is your window. This is your leverage. Don't just look at the price on the listing. Negotiate, ask for a month of free rent, lock in a rent controlled unit now while landlords are competing for you. Because once the accidental supply dries up, the leverage might shift back. If you are an investor, you need to be realistic. The easy money era is over. Those double-digit rent increases gone. You'll need to stress test your portfolio right now, run your numbers, assuming rents drop another 10 to 15%, because we are looking at this dynamic staying in play for at least the next 18 months. The market is correcting. Don't be the last one to accept the new reality. I'll see you in the next one.